So we are coming into the energy of this full moon in Cancer. Are we all feeling it? Yes, Cancer is like a very sensitive water sign. Like, speaking of water, it's snowing, it's wet, it's been raining, it's foggy. Lots going on within me, and then the emotion, very emotional um, lately, and I'm noticing in others too. So that's normal. We're all feeling that a bit with this full moon, especially us that have water signs, I think, are feeling it extra if you're extra sensitive for the full moon. Um, but with the Cancer full moon, is I was reading in my Moonology diary that it's like the most sentimental sign, and having this as our first full moon of the year, we're in the energy of now, which is sentimental, looking back, reflecting, taking those lessons, letting go with the full moon, releasing, getting clear, all the same as the new year practices. So I feel really blessed that we have this energy of the full moon right now supporting us and what we're moving through. um, Also, which was interesting. So you might already be feeling that Cancer full moon. Also, this full moon is activating Pluto, which is the planet that's all about eruptions and detoxing. And so if you're feeling a bit of that, um, you can blame the moon and Pluto. Um, and so it's just like, okay, I don't know. I like when I see it. I like when I see when I see what's going on in the sky. I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. But also, it's not an excuse to just, react any certain way, but it just kind of helps us understand our inner and outer world a bit when we have a glance at what's going on in the sky. Um, so yeah, I wanted to share that too, because I just have a feeling that might relate. Oh, you should have just seen what just happened. I didn't know Mike was coming home midday, and I was letting Bear out, and it's snowy, and we don't have a fence. So I normally always go out with him, but I didn't. And I just like let him sneak out. And then I was going to let him back in, and I see a figure coming in the door. And I thought I was being burglarized. I don't know what it was. And I'm like, I'm like pushing the door, like screaming. I'm like, what just happened? And it was just Mike. And he's like, but it's just, I don't know. I think Pluto, Pluto, Mercury's in retrograde. We got a lot of stuff going on. It felt like this like eruption of energy in this, in that moment. But I'm feeling more calm now. and prepared to hold this space. But I'm going to feel more prepared after we ground and protect, because now I am kind of thinking of that frazzle moment. So let's ground and protect, and then we will reflect on our year together. I invite you to unwind your arms if they're crossed, your legs if they're crossed. Bring some intuitive movement into your body, leaning into areas of constriction or tightness, finding a deep and nourishing breath. Starting to sink and soften, settle in at your own pace. Continuing to allow any intuitive movement or unwinding that feels good and supportive. Allowing this to be a moment for healing, for connecting and creating space. As you begin to soften all over, starting with your thoughts. Soften the edges of the thoughts. Be aware and notice them without jumping on each one. And then start to soften your physical body, starting at your crown, smoothing the lines of your face, releasing and relaxing your jaw. allowing your neck to settle and soften, your shoulders as well. I invite you to drop them down, pull them back slightly, feeling your wings touching behind you and your heart space opening. Draw your attention to that heart space in the middle of your chest as you continue to soften your body all the way down, your hips and legs and feet, pressing down into your feet, grounding into Mother Earth, choosing to be right here, right now, in this body, in this place, with this breath. Feel that grounding energy coming up through your feet and legs, holding and anchoring you here. If you notice your spirit seems to be outside of your body, please invite her in. Feel your spirit and your heart space as you allow the energy and that flow to expand as you tap into thoughts of gratitude. Starting to list some things that you feel very thankful for. And as the energy of gratitude opens your heart chakra even more, I invite you to tilt your face upward, visualizing the sun or the moon, whatever feels right, warming you. By looking up, you feel uplifted, feeling that uplifted light energy from warmth, from gratitude, filling your body. You may want to find a small smile on your face as you list just a couple more things that you're feeling grateful for, really intentionally tapping into the energy, the feelings of gratitude. And now, from this grounded and uplifted space, we invite our spiritual teams in. If there's anyone you would like to collaborate with from spirit, that you would like holding you, supporting you in your reflections and your clarity, invite them in now. And now feel that light from above, the divine light from the heavens, from source, from the most radiant, pure source of unconditional, infinite love, coming in through your crown chakra, through your third eye, through your mouth, breathing it in, allowing it to, that protective divine light, that healing light to fill your body, to cascade over and around your body and fill your aura. Protective, healing, infinitely loving light within and around you. From this place, you are ready to show up for yourself. You've already done by being here today. You are ready to look back through the eyes of compassion, look forward with hope, and be right here and now with peace within and around you. Let's take a breath in together and a big exhale out. We come back to the space together, letting your eyes open when you're ready, enjoying the energy you feel in your body. How's everyone feeling? A little more centered, I hope. The chat is open. Please feel free to write anything in there if you want to share how you're feeling right in this moment. And let's get out our papers and pens. And we're going to do a bulleted list. It doesn't have to be in order, any rhyme or reason. We're going to start with, can you remember a year ago, your January 2022, and what theme you started with? A theme, an intention, a goal, anything like that that you chose for yourself. Sometimes it's hard to remember because a lot of times, right, our theme maybe changes or something chooses us other than what we chose, or maybe we don't have practices in place to continue working with our theme. But if you had one at the beginning of 22, um, note it. And if it's hard to remember, even if you did, it's okay. Well, it's kind of showing too, whatever we do start the intentions with of this year, it's going to be what comes to you today. It's okay if it changes. It's okay. You know, you're going to pick a theme here today, I think, or some intentions, and then some different ones are going to choose you. And it might change along the way. I keep mine close to me because I write them in places. And so I like to work with them every day. And I'll share that when we get to setting our intentions. But if you had one, go ahead and jot it down. Now, there's two ways you can go through this. You can go through thinking of, okay, January, February, and go through your month to month. Sometimes what helps me is thinking of what holiday was around then, what the weather was like, so I can kind of put myself in that. Another way, and this is what we did last night, and if anybody can type this in for me, that would be awesome so everyone can have these in the chat. We kind of use the self-care areas to help us look at each one and be like, okay, what did I do this year around this? And they are emotional. And write these down for yourself too, if you want. Emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, home, education, career, financial. And then for social, I have two categories. So inner social, which would be partner, immediate, if there's family that lives with you or immediate family. It's like this inner social, pets or anything like that. And then the more outer social, which would be community, friends, and family. So those are areas that might help you do this or map it out a little. And things that you're going to be looking for. And you can go ahead and start writing your list as I talk if things are starting to come. I'm just going to give you some ideas to jog is we're not just focusing on it. Okay. Inner social would be a partner or anyone like who lives in your home. So now we're going to look at through this lens or going through the month and looking at our 2022 and making our bulleted list of reflecting on our year. And it's not, I want to see your wins, your accomplishments, goals that you set and made, also the goals that you set and didn't make. the mistakes, the falls, the injuries, crisis, the mistakes. You don't have to look for the lesson in each of them right now. We're going to do that next. But there are obviously going to be lessons in all of, the aches and pains and failures, mistakes. And, we're listing our griefs. We all lost something or someone. Maybe it just wasn't what we thought our year would be, or something didn't work out, or maybe there was loss of loved ones. If you start getting stuck, Tyler did type in kind of some sections to help ground you in this that you can look back and say, okay, what in my year would represent that? So mental could be, did I read any books? Did I learn something? As education go with mental. Did I take care of my mental health? Did I have anxiety, depression? Um, what was going on around that? How did I self care this year? How did I other care this year? Inner social would be yourself as well. Like yourself, your partner, your dogs, whoever's like right there in your house. Physical would be illnesses, injuries, accidents, surgeries, um, how you ate this past year, how you moved your body. And as you go through this, there are going to be things that bring up a little heart or a little hurt or maybe a little disappointment. And I would ask that you or encourage you to honor that emotion, to notice it, to honor it, and just give it a little hug. You don't have to reframe it or anything in the moment. Just say, yeah, that happened. That sucks. Here's a little love. to give you some ideas to help you keep going. Um, all right. Any, how about for friendships? Any new connections? Any connections fostered? Any ones let go of? Um, how about boundaries? Anything with boundaries you want to note over the last year? How did you honor your energy? How about with money? Money saved, earned, spent, shared, breakups and makeups, rejections and redirections, goals that you set, missed, or made, vacations, any fun experiences, any pamperings, any big events in your family, or time spent with them. How about books read, any shows you went to, music you saw, or theater you want to note, things that you participated in. How about this? Anything that you started but didn't complete, or that you worked on, or was maybe you did complete some things in this past year? Times you've showed up or didn't. Just finish up 30 more seconds, and you'll have, you can always keep adding more throughout this or come back. Like I just added a bunch more from mine from last night. I thought, I was like, there couldn't be any more. Just keeps coming. It's still writing, so maybe another minute. Our next section is going to be about our reflections about the year. So we kind of reflected on the year. Now let's reflect on our reflections. And so we're going to look for, what were the themes of the year? What were the big lessons? What did we learn about ourselves and about others in 2022? See those mistakes, that heartache, that injury, whatever it was, what was their lesson that came with any of that? So now is the reflections on our reflections. The themes, the themes that you notice just looking at the year as a whole, the themes you chose, the themes that chose you. Look for the blessings in disguise, look for the big lessons. Which lessons did you fight the most? That you went through kicking and screaming. Which ones did you move through with more ease and presence? This is where you look for the growth, the lessons, the themes. This is the juiciest part. So really feel into that because this is the part that I was saying that we, most take with us. Okay, these were the lessons. I'm going to take these lessons with me. And if you would say, if there were one, two, three themes that really summed up your 2022, what would they be? And feel free to share in the chat. I'll share mine. Connection, which was the theme I chose for 2022. And that really showed up connection, boundaries, and clarity. And also grief was a big thing for me. So I'm going to add grief. Connections, boundaries, clarity, and grief. Yeah, that would sounds right. Feel free to share in the chat if you'd like to be witnessed in it. And if not, that's okay. As long as you know for yourself. Heather, for me too, boundaries again. Because I never choose boundaries. It just chooses me as a theme every year. It's like one of those big lessons. And I might have said it last night or I was just thinking it. But I'm like, again, boundaries. Again. Boundaries, strength, grief, healing, growth. Release of what is not for me, not healthy. Boundaries and strength. Trust, connection, health. Yeah, I think health was, I'm going to add that to mine. That was a huge theme of my year. It's written in different ways so many times on this sheet. I'm writing that too. Expansiveness, confidence, communication. Yeah, health is a huge three. Yes, you might see something in someone else's, like I did, be like, yeah, oh, that was a theme. I'm adding that to my list, and then feel free. Reconnection to self. Self growth, strength, grief, expansion. Yes. So the themes that we work, the overall themes of 2022 are not going to be just, we're not going to be done with them. We take them with us, and some of them may be ones that we continue to really, really focus on, or maybe we're going to choose some different ones to be your chosen theme. Because as you see, most of us might start the year with one theme and might end it with not that one at all, or maybe that one and a few others. But it's really beautiful practice to have one grounding theme that you're working with. For me, where I write it down and it's on my desk and I put it in a couple places, or I write it on a rock or do a little art project or something out of it. And then every day I'm seeing it, and then I'm seeing how I'm aligning with it and honoring that. So I was seeing connections all over, and that included connecting with my body, connecting with spirit, connecting with friends and family. Um, and so it would, like, where I have this tendency to, like, introvert hermit, but I'd be like, oh, I'm supposed to be connecting, like, okay, and reach out to somebody or say yes, when sometimes my instinct is to say no to certain things. So it had me saying yes a lot, like yes to things for myself, and yes to things with others, and end up being like such a great year around that. So I highly recommend whatever theme or intention you chose for yourself today, that you post it somewhere and you live with it. And that's why it stayed my theme, because I lived with it. I saw it every day, 90% of the days. Um, okay. Now I want to ask you, if there were, and I only want you to pick, just before I even ask you the question, like 1 to 3 things, or, around there. What am I ready to release from 2022? From what I didn't do, what I did, some pain I'm carrying, um, if it's a relationship or a mindset. But the reason I suggest that you only pick 1 to 3, and I kind of hinted on this earlier. If you make this whole list of all these things I want to release and it reads just like some Facebook post meme or something, you're not going to really be living with it. You're going to say it once and then you're like, oh, I release it, but I don't know if it's going to have such a big impact as if you're very intentional. And I'm really going to consciously work on releasing these things, because we all know just because we say we release it, we can throw it into the fire, we can speak it into the full moon, we can bury it. There's always layers to release. But when you're consciously working on releasing something throughout this year or this season or whatever it is, um, I have a feeling we're going to go a lot further with it. And if you're ready to release this, let's affirm that. Let's declare it. So what are you ready to release? I have to admit, this one's a tough one for me personally. I don't know if anyone else was. It's a little tough. It felt tough for me to declare, but then once I did, I'm like, yeah, that's the shit I need to release. Well, you all have that experience as well. Self-doubt, trauma and grief, self-doubt, anxiety. I put self-doubt as one of mine, but mine was letting self-doubt prevent me from moving forward. Because the doubt is going to be there, as we all know, but maybe its impact. Just sharing, since in case that helps you at all. So self-doubt, anxiety, unworthiness. Yeah. Anxiety and worry. So these are what you're really ready to release. Maybe, just maybe, your energetic intention for what you're wanting for yourself. And this doesn't have to be this great declaration now, because we're actually going to go a bit further with this, and something else might come and just hit you in the heart with the right theme for you. But you might right now know, if you're ready to release these 1 to 3 things that you've just declared, then what are you ready to call in? And maybe you'll see some patterns like releasing self-doubt and um, calling in confidence, or moving forward in aligned with, something like that. Releasing the dependent, welcoming independence. So maybe they go together, maybe they don't. It will be interesting to see what comes up, right? Releasing staying silent, calling in using my voice in all the areas. Good job, Jennifer. Wow. Yes, Michelle. And right now, and this might change, but right now, are you feeling an energetic intention that might be most supportive to where you are and where you're going, and these things that you're wanting with the release and the calling in? And I always like to, on these calls, do energetic intentions other than goals, because goals we like fuck up all the time, right? Like, who's fucked up a goal today, even? Me already this day. We fuck up goals all the time. And so when you start your new year with these like resolutions or these goals that are maybe about an action, like working out 3 times a week or reading every day or this financial goal or something that it is. I don't know that you're always setting yourself up for the most success. I do believe in goals. There's certain ways I want to do it. And if some of you are going to intuitive coaching circle, and I really want to work on goals with you in there and be seeing you achieving goals and helping you with your goals. But when you let go of that for your intention for your year, and it's more of an energetic intention. So it's being present, connection, right? Some of these things we've said: boundaries, clarity, abundance, prosperity, action, taking action. These are just sharing some of my past ones for some ideas. Trust and patience. So if you name something like that, you can't like fuck it up. You are saying, I'm going to set this as my energetic intention. So I'm going to be working toward it and looking for ways to honor it, but also I'm accepting and open to lessons in these areas, which we all know lessons, woohoo, great times. But you're saying, like, yeah. And I always use the example when I had trust and patience as my energetic intention, and I had so many opportunities with my crazy ass daughter. It was really tough first year, and I'm like, I asked for trust and patience. Um, so it's like interesting. You're going to call in lessons, but you can't mess it up. And you can be like, oh, I haven't focused on this. Okay, but you can always get back to it. It can always be something that you focus on. So you're setting yourself up so that your theme, your energetic intention can't be fucked up. Even if you don't do it, you learn from doing. But it's not this specific, measurable goal that we all mess up all the time. And that you're starting off, this is my year. And so I personally really believe in our New Year practices of choosing an energetic intention that can be most supportive, feels most aligned, that I am actually welcoming growth around, including lessons and opportunities to grow, but also that at the end of the year, if I really embrace this, that I'm going to be proud of myself and where I am, that this would be awesome for me to learn to embrace this more and more. It might be one of the themes that already started coming up in the last year for you that chose you, um, or it might be something new. But so I want everyone to start thinking about that. And, maybe it's to be loving, kind, um, present, and service, strategic, courageous, something like that, an energetic intention. And I think that this is going to help you. Yeah, Tyler said, I've always told if you ask for patience, the universe will give you lots of ways to practice having patience. I wasn't always told that, but I asked for that. And that is exactly what I found out to be true. So, yeah. All right, the next thing we're going to do is kind of interesting, but I think it's going to get us closer even to our intentions for the year. And I wasn't sure how it was going to work out last night. I was going to do it a different way today, where it was more of a tap in and talk to spirit, but I do not have my guided meditation voice that normally I have available to me. So I think how we did it yesterday was kind of fun. If you have markers, bring them out. So I was talking with spirit, And remembering that last year around this time, we had a call, some of you were there, where Spirit basically gave us an oracle card in our mind's eye. Like we were like, show us the color. You know, we grounded and tapped in and started connecting with Spirit. We're like, show me a color, show me an animal. Does anybody remember that? And we kind of made our own oracle card by just what Spirit showed us. And then we could go and look and see what that meant. And it was like our message. So I did pull some cards for this year for us all. And we'll get to those in a bit. But this is going to be your message. And so I'm like, okay, we'll do that, Spirit. We'll get grounded. I'll ask for you to show them different things. And this is what Spirit said to me, that they've already been showing you the things. That they've already been showing you the things. And I'm like, what? What do you mean by that? And they're like, you know how you're always wearing this shade of green now. Like, I am always wearing that shade of green. And I have thought it kind of peculiar. And I'm like, why do I keep buying only things? And like, Allie, I think she's here, gave me these as a gift and they're green, like the exact shade. My nails were this color. I somehow keep coming into shirts. I don't know. But it's like all around. And oh my gosh, even my Sharpie I wrote with last night is this color. It's just everywhere. Pens I brought today, my green juice. So that's just an example. And so I didn't go into it further with them at that moment, but I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's experiment with this and see. And so if you feel better about getting kind of into your head and just asking Spirit, do that. But I'm going to go through the things and you're basically going to be sharing what you recently have been drawn to, what recently you've been noticing, what's been popping up in your life, because Spirit has been planting these, what do they call, like Easter eggs all around you. Also, never in my head, he says with a smirk, the sly smile. Also, what I like about this is a lot of times we come and we do our New Year's calls and we just use our head, but then we're like, okay, no, fuck the head, let's get in the heart and just feel. And I just don't believe that all this work is supposed to just be just heart. You know, the heart leads and then we need the head to fuel it, to process what we're feeling, to figure it out. And so I love the place where intuition meets mental power, where logic and intuition come together, where we get to use our big, beautiful mind for these awesome spiritual experiences instead of shutting them down, which for some of us is a lot of work. And it doesn't have to be that way. So we're going to just take one breath because that was kind of some heavy stuff, right? Did y'all have a year? That was a freaking year. My God, that was a year. So let's just take a breath in and exhale. 2022. You did the work, you outlined it, it's on paper. You reflected on the year, you reflected on the lessons, you declared what you're ready to call in and what you're ready to release. So now we can exhale that from our body. Inhale some peace and ease. And exhale what was. Inhale the lessons we're keeping with us. And exhale the pain, the struggle, the anxiety and overwhelm. Just really using our breath to get more centered in this moment. We thank our spiritual team for how they've already been working, not just behind the scenes, but on the scenes to guide us and show us the path to what we want, clarity around that, what we're ready to know, we're ready to release. And they said to me that it's been weeks now that they have been really setting you up for this new year and really getting strong and clear on the messages. And feel free to have your paper, markers, and pen out. You can stay closing your eyes and going through, or you can just kind of jot down as it comes. And we're going to be kind of making our own oracle card, starting with what color? What color or colors have you been drawn to, wearing, noticing? Maybe it was the wrapping paper that you just had to have and wrapped everything in this year, or the tissue paper. What colors have you been drawn to and noticing? After that, what elements? Fire, air, ether, space, earth, water, and even deeper, if there was any way those elements showed up: fog, rain, snow, smoke, gentle breeze, or strong winds. What elements have been around you? Dirt, mud, sand, salt. And since this is a living, breathing oracle card, how about what smells? Maybe it's something you're wearing. Maybe you received or bought a new lotion or candle over the holidays. Maybe it's in your hand soap or your laundry. Maybe it's something has changed, or you've just really been drawn to a certain smell. And it might be a good smell, it might be a foul smell. Maybe there's some of both. Maybe it's no smell, beautiful too. And now, how about what number or numbers have you been seeing? I know for all of us, it's 2023. How many times have you seen that number? Which breaks down to a seven. So maybe it's seven, or maybe it's 2023, but that, at least that is for all of us. Is there anything else? Right now, there's 11 participants in this call. I keep seeing that number. What about you? And how about what animals? What animals will be represented on your oracle card? And is there a sound? Maybe there's a song you've been listening to over and over again, like how I listen to music, or maybe a type of music, jazz or blues. Um, Maybe there's a certain band you've been listening to, or maybe it's bells, wind chime. Maybe it's traffic, cars, Maybe it's more quiet and silent, or maybe it's just more busy, loud, white noise that's been coming up. All of this, there's going to be messages for you. Is there, now I want you to see yourself on this card. You can be wearing decide what you're wearing, what your stance is. If you're in action, if have a powerful stance, maybe you're resting. How do you appear on this card? How have you been wanting to see yourself in the future? How do you need to be showing up this year to have the things that you want, to release the things that you need to release? Who do you need to be this year? And are there any like props in your hands? Or maybe your hands are lit up with white light. Or you're holding goblets of swords, gifts. What props do you have in this oracle card? Stones. Is there anyone else that you would like to have represented on this oracle card? Starting with anyone beside you to support you that's still on this earthly plane. You don't have to have them represented on the oracle card. This is just an option. If it's coming up and coming through, if you somehow want supportive community represented, they can be represented through a symbol, through animals, or having people there if that feels good to you, if you're feeling supportive community is going to be part of your year. And then how can you represent what spirit you want to be supporting you in all of this, and you're moving forward, your release, your welcoming, your intentions? Who in spirit do you want represented on your oracle card? It might be loved ones past, it might be angels, specific archangels. Is there any persistent guidance you've been picking up on recently that you were being told to move on from, or there were fears or extra self doubts around, that you want to note for your card to somehow be represented? The big fears, the doubts, that this version of you and this spiritual team is going to support you in moving through that, moving past that, moving forward anyway. And then, is there any persistent guidance? Maybe you're scared about it, but persistent guidance of what would be coming up for you, about next steps, moves to make with yourself, career, relationships. Even if you have fear and doubt around it, is there a way that you want to have this represented? And then lastly, is there a word or phrase that either you've been drawn to, that you're downloading now, or that just in your brain you feel would support this vision of your 2023? Now, as you look at that in your mind's eye, maybe you drew a little on paper, or maybe you just wrote down words. If you can see it in your mind's eye and see the picture, does a theme or intention for your year pop out to you? How was that for everyone? Does anyone want to share about their experience with us at all? Excuse me. Anyone? You can unmute yourself if you want.
I can go.
You know,
The color that I've kind of shifted to is my hair used to be pink. I shifted to purple, and so I'm finding myself more and more attracted to purple. Water, I mean, it's been snowing like crazy out here, snowing, raining ice, foggy. I've got all the water. The smells I've really been attracted to are like kind of the citrusy and vanilla. I see a lot of 7 and 11s popping up, sometimes 9s. The animals, hummingbird, rabbit, deer. I have a wild rabbit that moved in like in April and is still here, just kind of living and hanging out with my chickens. I have deer around, and there's one single hummingbird that is still kind of here, still through the winter. Sound for me is quietness, because I think the last several years have been very chaotic and very noisy. Myself, I saw wearing flowing clothes, standing really strong, smiling, emanating light from my hands and my head, wearing purples and greens with flowers and trees around my arms raised slightly, wearing a crown of possibly light or flowers. There's a vortex behind me. The spirit I really am feeling called to is Gaia, or the original goddess, Mother Earth. The specific guidance is to rest and heal from a lot of trauma and abuse, letting go of my need to control everything, which really creates a lot of anxiety, releasing the anger, trauma, fear, focusing on growth and abundance. My word or phrase is really to trust in the divine universal energies and know that they really have my best interest at heart. So. Oh, you're muted.
gosh, thank you for sharing. I think we could all see the picture you painted. What a gorgeous vision to have, a snapshot to have. Is that what you're choosing for your intention for the year? Trust?
My intention for my year is actually abundance.
Abundance. Okay.
Yeah, abundance in health and finances, in growth and confidence and strength and love, friendships, just abundance in all the things.
I love it. I love it. That's so gorgeous. And if you want, after this call, you can message me and I'll let you know, but we can look up your animals. We can see what the color means and just dive a little deeper.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Jennifer said that card felt abundant. The purples, the vortex, the animals, and peaceful. Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer.
When you said the 7 and 11s, that's my soul dog Izzy sends me 7-11. So I was like, thank you. It's such a hug for me. And you said it at like 111 with 11%.
Oh, that's funny. It was 11:11 here. So
yeah. That was perfect timing. I love it. Thank you so much. So how did that feel? Did that feel good to
Good. I'm actually with this, I'm actually thinking about, because I'm an artist, thinking about actually like drawing it and creating an actual piece, a painting of it. So, which I think would be really cool.
Uh, yes, I love it. Well, please share if you do. I would
Okay.
love to see it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Anyone else want to share? Jennifer? Yeah.
I think I might be ready to receive. I'm trying to figure out what this all means, but initially my colors were like red and pink and teal, and my world is really teal. So I was surprised that I was headed towards reds and pinks. And for elements, it was fire, and I'm usually in a watery world. So the red, the pink, the fire was all new to me. And the smells were sea salt and smoke. And then when I had to draw a picture of myself and what I was wearing, I was in this white dress with a goblet in one hand and what I thought was like a Harry Potter wand in the other hand. But the more I look at it, it looks like either a candle or maybe a paintbrush. I'm not sure. But the fact that my dress was just white was like, and I'm pretty sure that goblet's empty. I think that it might be like I'm ready to really receive. I think.
Love
I
that.
feel.
I feel that you are right. One of the cards that came up for the collective was this yes. Can you see it? And it's like, is this really the sign? Yes. Was this the message? Yes. Was this what I saw and what it means? Yes. I'm just feeling that so much for you. Yes. Beautiful. And I have to share, I'm holding a goblet in my vision. So I love that synchronicity. Beautiful. I love it. We'll have to have Carrie tell us about the colors at some point. Carrie's our color expert. She reads auras, but that's very interesting. But the colors have been very interesting to me and myself at the switch in colors and what I've been drawn to. That's so beautiful. Is that maybe going to be your theme for the year or receiving, or what are you thinking right now?
Well, I think in the spirit of receiving, maybe that was the gift that I'm to get from this call. Like I hadn't been thinking of that word. I hadn't really been focusing on it. Maybe that's my maybe it feels like a good way to proceed.
Beautiful. Well, no pressure, but I do love it. Beautiful. We have time for one more if somebody would love to be Eva. Yeah.
There we go. I think I'm unmuted. All right. Tyler, I think we are like sisters from another mother because my vision like mirrored yours so amazingly. And just to give you an idea of what 2022 was like for me, when you had us exhale 2022, in my mind's eye, it looked like putrid black green. So I had to keep on inhaling and exhaling until it was white because that was just, yeah, that's what the year was like for me. But my colors are rainbow, just like splashes of bright color everywhere. I was also in a flowy dress, very colorful. Everything was, it's just nothing matched, nothing went. It just was like pure bright color. Also, my hands were outstretched, light coming from them. I was under a rainbow. And abundance also is my theme for the year. Definitely 1000%. And so I was very happy to have that vision in my mind's eye because it made me feel happy. And my element, strangely enough, is air. I have always been drawn to fire and water. But air is, I'm much more drawn to air this year. For this year. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And I was just going to be like, wow, you're probably going to have a really abundant year with all these rainbows. And then you said, this is my theme.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Thank you for sharing. What a beautiful, beautiful image. I love it. I love that you shared with us about the exhaling of your 2022, because I felt we didn't talk too much about it, but it was a heavy year. And I didn't realize how heavy until this exercise, until like really putting it out there. And it's like, okay, I can honor that instead of just bypassing and keep going, coasting along. Like, let's really say what it was.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you for that. I will say, so both Tyla and Eva are picking abundance for their theme. The year that I picked abundance for my theme was 2014. And I have all my themes memorized because they're so powerful. I just had to like make sure the map, because I love them. And it was it was insane how abundance showed up for me and how it shifted my life and how my mindset around it shifted. And I ended up creating my first solo program as a coach, like on my own, around abundance that year, because it was so powerful to me. Abundance now, uncaged and flying free. So I love that theme. So I'm so excited for everyone who picked it. Air. Yes, air and breathing is what helped you with the release. So seems like you are, Jennifer, thank you for pointing out this like source of power for her. This beautiful gift that you have access to. Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, I've loved doing this with you all. Does everyone want to share either in the chat or share out loud what the energetic theme for the year is, what your theme of the year is that you're choosing? Which what I do is I choose one and then I try it on. And then I make sure that, yeah, this is the one I want before I make it official. So I really live with it for a few days and try it on. And because mine right now is kind of scary. So I do want to try mine on for a few days and see how it feels, because I am leaning into courage. And everyone who comes in the intuitive coaching circle will talk a lot more about that, but I'm leaning into courage. And I'm scared shitless. I'll just tell you that. But you wouldn't have any courage without the fear. That doesn't make sense. So there has to be fear and things present to have courage. But so I'm wearing that. I'm trying that on for a bit and see how it feels to me. I had a different one, but then that's the one that came to me last night. The other one felt much safer, I'll say. It felt way safer. But sometimes you just know. So I'm going to try it on. So I encourage you, even if you say it out loud today, to still give yourself a little space to try it on and make sure, because if it isn't the right fit, but you've committed and you don't want to change it, then you miss an opportunity to really, really work with a theme and embody something and have lessons around something this year that are really going to be so beautiful and supportive in your present and your expansion, where you are and where you're going. So does anyone want to share out loud your theme that you're trying on for 2023? Or in the comments?
I'd like to share because it's a big one for me. I think it's been a long time coming. But my theme and motivation of the thing, calling in pride Like yes, like from even, well, and also courage to embrace the do instead of the overwhelm. But the end result that I'm looking for is that I can look at what boundaries I've overcame, to feel a sense of pride about it, and to feel valid in it. A valid pride, I guess, is a dual word on that. Like, and I think that I'm in a good spot to do that, and releasing the anxiety in it and the resentment of being held back by my own self. I'm trying to embrace a sense of pride and courage. Yeah. So we'll see what that goes.
Carrie, I can't wait to work with you on this theme. Carrie and I work together closely in Circle, and
It kind of came out of nowhere.
that's the best
Right.
ones. I love this. I have so much to say, but we'll save it because I get to talk to you next week. Yes, I love it.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share? There's no pressure to. Sometimes it's nice. Clarity. Another one of my most favorite things. We get to work on together. Oh yeah, I love working on people's themes with them. So if you'll let me in, I would love to support you. Well, feel free to always reach out privately and share for any support. If you are wanting to help interpret your Oracle card, I would love to share any resources or intuitive hits that I might have around what came up for you. So if something like that comes up, please just message me. 'Cause, I mean, I just geek out over that stuff. I would love to help you get clear. If you don't already have clarity around your card or your theme. Here's your soul work. We wrote down truly some things that we're ready to release, that we don't want to take into this new year with us, and that we're understanding that there's going to be layers of release, but we are at a place where we're saying, I'm ready to work on this release. I am ready to put time, effort, energy into letting this go. So we are blessed to have this full moon, this beautiful Cancer moon. One of the tips that I got, I think it might have been out of this Moonology diary. I'm not sure, but was speaking your release into like a glass of water, like, and then either pouring it out. You could water something with it so that it could be transmuted into something nourishing, or just pouring it out on the street or flushing it down the toilet or something. But you could use the energy of the moon for your release, speaking it into water and then releasing it that way. Maybe I'll release mine into our lake or something. Ooh, that would be nice. Or you could just speak it out loud. That's my number one way I usually release, is I speak out loud to the moon. And then I touch the ground with my hands. I get her energy in my hands of the moon. I cleanse myself with her after, and I just like release, speak it to her, give it to the earth. You could write it on pieces of paper and throw it into a fire. You could speak it into, or write it on a rock and throw it out into a body of water. You could put it on paper and bury it. So those are just a few things that are coming up for me. Maybe we all have some other ideas, but I would honor this full moon and this new year and your willingness. I'm so proud of you for having this willingness to release and doing some sort of little ceremony thing. Like literally, I just speak it out loud to the moon. It takes 5 seconds and it's like, and she transmutes it for me. You already wrote it down. You could, flush that. So I would suggest doing something for the release. Then I would suggest writing down what you're calling in, or your theme and your intention for the year, and writing it down and having it somewhere where you get to live with it and work with it. So it's this constant reminder, oh, am I aligning my life with that? What I do with my theme, I forgot to tell them yesterday this part, but I think most of you know it. I put it with, you can put it with the year or with your age or something like that. So 23 could be a number that represents, maybe if you don't already have it assigned to something, that is your theme, so that when you see it, you think 23, oh yes, prosperity and abundance. Ah, and you thank your angels for showing you the number. Oh yes, I'm supposed to be working on this. Let me look for ways that it's showing up in my life, or maybe there's some aligned action I can take. So you can make it a number like 23. Or I pick my age because I just happen to be like born on a decade. So um and then my birthday is like halfway through the year, and so I always reaffirm my theme, and so I usually just assign my theme to like my age that's coming that year, so 43, and then that's a way to work with it. And then as my birthday comes up, I like re-solidify it. But I usually do, though, the whole year at the beginning, and then I add my birthday, to be honest. So I would do 2023, and it's a great one to have because 43 is also a 7. Oh, Heather. Um, is that 2023 right now, you write it, you see it written, it's on mail, I mean, you just see it or write it. Even if you write the 23, but it means the year, that's kind of my contract with my angels and my team, that I'm going to remember what my theme is and be grateful for it, to focus on it, to align with it, to do something to honor it. So I wanted to share that with you. If you want to set it to a number, but otherwise I just, at a minimum, suggest writing it, even if it's on a post-it, have it on your computer, your desk, your mirror, somewhere where you see it, so that you really are living with it and working with it. So that's going to be your soul work, releasing and then solidifying your intentions in some way. And if anyone wants to try to draw or collage their oracle card, that would be so beautiful too. I don't know that I have those skills, but I like the idea of it. So I don't know if anyone has ideas for us to do that. Those that aren't that maybe don't have that level of artistic abilities. I feel like there's a way. Maybe it will be like a vision board with those colors, those animals or something. But so those kinds of things are coming up. I want to share with, does anyone have any questions about any of that? Type into AI art generator. Okay. Yeah, the flash. All right. Okay. You sound good. All right. I want to share with you before we go, because I think we're finished. And I just want to say congratulations, first of all. You showed up. You did all these New Year things. You're done. Maybe a little tiny bit more to do, but like you did it. You reflected even the parts that maybe weren't the prettiest and that were heavy. You reflected, you saw it, you were real with yourself, you found some compassion in it, you declared what you're ready to release, you reflected on the reflections. That's, I think, the biggest part. You looked for the themes and the lessons and the growth. You saw what you learned about yourself this past year, what you learned about others. That's a really big deal. They're just really proud of everyone. And you showed up for yourself. So you already started this year right, showing up for yourself. And I think we can all just like pat ourselves on the back, because give ourselves a hug, because that's a really big deal. And we haven't always done that, have we? So we need to, celebrate when we do. All right. If you have a couple more minutes, I'm just going to briefly, I don't have much of the throat left to share about it. Oh, I didn't do the card pulls. Oh, crap. All right. I have to share the card pulls for our messages, right? Well, if you have to go, you have to go. I'm really going to say, I want to tell you the card pulls. But I have intuitive coaching circles starting on Monday. There's a 12 p.m. Central or a 7 p.m. 6 p.m. Central group. There are 2 to 3 spots left in the 6 p.m. I'm waiting for someone to get back to me if they're in that time slot. There might only be 2 spots left in that. And then there's like 4 in the daytime. We're keeping these small and intimate. And it's not like this where I'm just talking to you. We're going to be Brady Bunch style, talking to each other. It's a place to come and take up space and get guidance and support around you and where you are in your life, and around clarity and around guidance and action steps. We'll be pulling cards and getting messages from spirit. And really it's, low pressure situation container, since it's a group for group coaching. But you still get personalized, individualized support to you, because what you need and the tools that are going to support you are going to be different from the ones that are going to support other people. And that's kind of my gift. I think those that have worked with me can attest to, is that I can really see what's going to usually click with you to have you, have the most transformation, success, happiness, whatever it is that you're going to be working on. That's one of my gifts, to kind of see specifically what your sweet spot would be, and then support you and believe in you through that. And it's also so great being in a little tight community, because we get to all believe in each other, support each other. And when we're in a container of like-minded people supporting them, it supports our growth as well, as so many of you have seen. And so it's just going to be this beautiful little field tank family, where we are actively working toward clarity and actively working toward goals and expansion, and having support and accountability and personalized, strategy, support, messages from spirit as we go through. So I offered this last night, and offer this to you, anyone who's on the call. I will extend the early pricing for the next 24 hours to you, as long as spots are still open. So on the website, the $77 a month is reflected. But if you want to do this, you have to reach out to me personally, and I'll send you a special discount for $55 a month. So you'll have that discount opportunity. And there is an upgrade opportunity to add one-on-ones, which is normally $211, but with the discount would be $189. And this is a 5-month journey. It's 2 Mondays a month, starting this Monday, every other Monday. And well, it's just going to be the best thing in the whole wide world. And I'm very excited for that. And I'm participating, y'all, so much in this, because, right, courage, I've got stuff going on, and I'm just like, I'm so glad to be in like a safe space with you all as I go through mine, and holding space for you. So it's going to be wonderful. Thank you for allowing me the pleasure of talking about something I'm so excited about. If you have any questions, want more info, please reach out to me. Now, I would like to share these cards that came up, and there's kind of a lot, so I'm just going to go through them really fast, but I couldn't stop. Spirit was like, there's more. So we're going to go through them. The collective themes that I've been seeing for the 2023 that will be impacting all of us. So it's a year of completion, a year of some spiritual growth. I've been seeing, so the completions, what I've been reading too is interesting. A lot of things will be coming to completions this year that we got the ball rolling on, that either toward completion or starting something that will be completed in the last 2 years. So things from like 2020 and 2021 will be kind of closing their cycles now. So that will be interesting. Spiritual, more connection with spirit, embracing of gifts, more sharing coming for us. It's also kind of a hermity year. So it's really a introspection, reflection, doing inner work. Not to say that there isn't also going to be a lot of action this year, because there is, but I think it's going to be like at this slower pace and just way more aligned, less impulsive, if that makes sense. More thoughtful, strategic, maybe. Courage. I might have been projecting on that one, but I put courage. No, I hadn't picked that theme until today. So courage was already on my collective. Completion. There's going to be both grieving and joy. Both boundaries and integrity, I think, is going to be a big theme this year. And saying yes to the self. in very, very aligned ways, because we're going to be so reflective and introspective that we are going to know when it's the yes. And this started coming up last year. And so we've talked about it a bit, but I feel this more so coming on this year, like really strongly, is moving away from the I have to get all my shit together in order to move forward, to this place where I'm getting my shit together as I'm moving forward. So kind of this energy, if that makes sense. Like also taking care of this end, but not using it as this crutch. How did you know the mountain is back? Woodrow, the mountain is back. Did you see it here? Was this your intuition? Or just from what I said?
From what you said, I'm like, oh, this is a mountain.
It's a mountain here. Yeah, the mountain came up. Oh my God, I know, Carrie, your face is my insides right now. Okay, so the first card I pulled, I was like geeking out. Full moon, completion. For reflection, for release, for welcoming clarity, for completing cycles, for closing cycles fully instead of leaving them dangling open, so that we have that energy to put into the what's next. Then how many people were saying rain and water all around? And we have this Cancer moon. Cancer is like the wateriest sign. Rain, purification, cleansing, helping release what isn't serving us for this fresh start. But also we have all this, look up, it's my shade of green. We have all this new growth as well. So it's not just this cleansing, but it's also this abundance coming with it. This newness, this bright green life, which I love. Then we also have Wolf came up, instinct, very instinctual year, trusting our instincts. Wolf actually came up twice out of the cards I pulled, so seems to be a very important message. And even in this, we see this kind of idea of the lone wolf, which many of us have felt like or feel like in our journeys, but the reminder that a wolf is a pack animal and how much stronger they are together hunting, for example, right, in that pack. And so the importance of community, and even if we don't feel like we belong to one, or we feel detached, or how do I get one, or feeling alone, that well, come be in one with me. That's an option. I would love that. but just having that sense, remembering to ask for help, and not just ask for help, but receive help. So I think we get better at asking, but the receiving. Oh, there you go, Jennifer. The receiving the help, but also with the wolf always comes out about being not just intuitive, but instinctual, primal. Like, what do you, not just like, what's the information that's coming to me from outside of me, the intuition, but this instinct of you already know, this animalistic, primal sense of protection and what's right and what's wrong. So it says instinct on it, but yes, just being more than intuitive, but flowing very instinctively. Then I just couldn't stop pulling cards from all the decks. I pulled, this was crazy, out of the Moonology deck. I pulled 3 cards and they were all full moons. And we're in the full moon. Forgiveness, which new moons are for. Pisces, also a water sign. And then we had Aquarius, which air, Eva, for be real. And then Cancer, for let the fears dissolve. And I don't think that we need to let the fears dissolve. I think that we recognize them and have courage. And I think courage is what helps the fear dissipate, is by, okay, I feel this, but I'm going anyway. The be real, I think that was kind of that integrity message that I was getting, of being proud of yourself, Carrie, being in your integrity and proud of yourself and how you're showing up and how you're showing up in each day. I have a great setup statement Michelle knows about for feeling proud of yourself. that I work with every day. Um, so being real, being honest, being in your integrity, um, showing up really how you are, like showing up as you are. And the forgiveness, oh my gosh, what perfectly aligned full moon activity. But anywhere we can infuse some forgiveness is a release to us. And maybe that's someone else, maybe that's yourself. Maybe it's forgiving yourself for what you're not ready to forgive, but there's always a little room to create some space around forgiveness. This reminds me a little bit of Eva's card, even though just because of the rainbows, I guess. But I love this. So the signs and the reminders, spirit saying that they are going to be so with us through this year, through this journey. And look at us. I feel like being in the community with the transforming butterflies. This is us right now. We're literally in this car, feeling the hope and the abundance coming. We're grounded in the earth. We're connected with the heavens, seeing the signs, connected with what's going on in the skies. So I love this. The card of signs, reminders that spirit's there, that all these things that you were intuiting of what has, as you created your card for the year, through your mind, through seeing what was already coming to you. I feel like spirit is saying like, yeah, we planted those seeds. Like and we're like, we give you the credit. So they're here, and just look for more and more of those because spirit's going to be all around you. Forgiveness and understanding. So that's kind of a repeat confirmation that came up. Romance and connection came up. Who needs that one? Came up for you. Well, with the romance and connection, maybe it's healing energies around things or newness. Maybe some healing or some newness coming. What I'm getting. And the card I showed you before, then this yes. Is this a sign? Yes, it's a sign. Was that my grandma? Yes, that was your grandma. Should I go for this opportunity? Yes, you should go for this opportunity. Should I do this for myself? Yes. Should I say no to that because it doesn't feel right? Yes, you should say yes, have boundaries. I just feel like it's this, I just love that because it's really, when I see this card, what comes to me, it's whatever the thing you're saying in your mind. And it's like, yes, like as soon as you start thinking it, like just spirit interrupting with it. Yes, that's how it comes to me. Guardian angel, you're not going to be alone this year. Spirit already honors you for already starting to declare who you want to work with in 2023. Maybe if you haven't yet, jot down right now in this moment who you want to work with in 2023, who's best to help you with your theme. Right? If the theme is abundance, who would be awesome to work with around abundance? The theme is receiving, pride, like what animal, what entity, what angel, what level of past, like who would you love to really be a deep collaboration with this year? Because they are showing up and saying, yes. So you can get that just collaborator in your pocket. We got the spirit fox. Trust your talents in changing times. So it's a time of transformation, but you have all the things that you need inside of you, and you can trust it to be successful. To if there's any moments that you're going to be leading or supporting, that you have those tools and that you're ready. And then, as Woodrow already called out, the mountain for like is this our third year in a row getting the mountain as our like year card? What the hey, guys? So the mountain, stand your ground, representing being here on the journey. Not always so focused on here and how to get here and why aren't I there? But really embracing and being where you are. We'll talk a lot lots, if we work together, we're gonna be talking lots more about this mountain because it just is an analogy for everything, it seems. But I love that the mountain here is supporting us and stay grounded. Stay grounded, be where you are, work with people that are on the mountain with you, surround yourself in community of others that are on the mountain on the journey, and yeah, just a really good be present nod. And then these two came up, which I like. It was autumn and then winter, so I always like when things come up kind of sequential like that. Autumn, release the old and rest, and then winter, take care of your needs. We also have another wolf. But yeah, these coming up along with any time that we've seen wings in this whole reading, they're not just like you're not laying down completely wrapped up in, but they're kind of like they're relaxed wings, except for the yes card. But even there, they seem a little chill. I don't know. Um, like little action, like you're gonna be moving forward, but not being so impulsive, right? Knowing your footing, going at your pace, not anyone else's, and your pace may change, but really honoring your pace. Right? It's still winter, right? And things, it's about that slowing down, that taking care of the self. And that Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. That's come up with the mountain. But here it is again. Then we have, oh, it's my grave. This beautiful healing. So for a healing heart chakra opening year ahead for us. And then the final one, which just gives so much hope to me, is this summer. Bask in joy and light. And so it just seems like all the work that you are embarking on now and that you're going to continue to, you're going to really see this kind of shift toward abundance, joy, happiness. Like, oh my gosh, I put in the work and now I'm enjoying it. I think we're going to all really see this return on our investment in ourself, in our journey this summer, and feel really lit up in that. So bask in joy and light. Aw, Carrie's word. And, with the bee, the honey, just I think we're going to have a really, really sweet summer. And we can't rush into all the sweetness. I think that's what this year we're learning is a bit about this patience and forward moment, but at the pace that really honors where you are, where you're going. So that was the really long. Normally I'm like, here's 3 cards, but I just couldn't stop. I was just like, oh, I just felt there's more to express. So I just went until I felt complete. So I hope that feels good. What deck is the yes card from? Oh, thank you for saying that, because I'm like, we have multiple cards. The yes card is Kyle Gray. Angels, which one? I will have to see. I don't know why I don't have that box. In my little, I have like a little basket with my boxes, and it's not in there. It's definitely a Kyle Gray, and it's definitely Angels something. Well, everything Kyle Gray is Angels something. That's not helpful. It's not the newest, but the second newest deck, I think. I will find it and share it, Jen. What card is the yellow rainbow butterfly explosion deck? Oh my gosh, those are the same deck. And why is the deck missing? So odd. Oh, here we go. It wasn't missing. I was just expecting it to be orange for some reason. Okay. It is the Angel Guide Oracle. And both the cards that you asked about were from here. Yeah, all these cards are from him. All right, does anyone have any questions before we go? No? Okay, well, I've loved this. A reminder, some of you are in the intuitive coaching circle, but if you want to be, message me. You can look on the website for more information, but don't invest through there because for 24 hours, I will open to you who are here on the call that discounted pricing while spots are available. So just let me know. I want to thank our beautiful teams above for holding the space, for bringing us together, for supporting and encouraging us to say yes to ourselves, for helping us reflect and embrace the lessons, to prepare for release, to prepare to have a beautiful new year full of intention. Thank you for the messages, the support, and the love. With that, we release the energy of this space. We call back in our own. We thank each other. We thank our teams above. And we thank ourselves. With a breath in together. The big exhale out. We close the space with love and gratitude. Oh, well, this is fun. Reach out if there's anything I can do or help you, you know, help or support you with. And I hope to see y'all soon.